18 of these tests. So that's 1,800 points. You get 100 points in each. And we have 3 quizzes. That puts us at 2,100. And then a midterm, that's 400 points. So you have given, what you have in front of you, for many of you, is 200 points out of 2,500. So if you didn't do as well as you wanted, there's time to improve. If you ended up with a D and you wanted a B or an A, then you're going to have to spend a little more time. Be a little more careful. Make sure that you are taking the time to do it well. Okay, yes?
Mine is on carries, and mine didn't get back.
Okay, if yours didn't get back, are there any more still floating around? Yes, there's still more coming. Okay? Chris is the name of that one? Okay, just somebody will pick it up at the end. So just when you get the ones at the end, if you could just bring them back up to the front, I would appreciate that. But there are more coming back. And if for some reason your test isn't there, then let me know at the end, and we'll try to figure out what happened, and I'll see if I have it recorded. I did these 4 to 5 a.m. this morning. So strange things happen at 4 to 5 a.m., even with coffee. Now, today we're working in the Orange Book. And I'm going to, for the moment, remove the newly minted coin for just a moment. I'm going to go to a document cam shot here, and you tell me what you see. You see money.
Cents.
Okay, I'll go with that. What kind of money?
Coins.
Coins. Which coins?
Quarter, nickel, penny.
Okay, a penny, a nickel, and a quarter. Do you agree? You have a penny, a nickel, and a quarter.
I saw that.
That's yours?
Yeah, the one with the blue tab.
Yeah, that's yours? I thought so. How did you not pick up the blue tab?
But didn't it come to me?
Oh, listen to that. Now, pennies, nickels, and quarters. Here's the problem I want to do. And Debbie, I think I'm just going to sort of migrate over here for a moment. Here's my question. Okay, about here. Here's my question for you. You have some change you're going to give out. So here's the change I want. You're going to give out 93 cents in change. And all you have left in the till, as we call it, are pennies, nickels, and quarters. Okay, and you want to zoom in a little bit tighter there now. You have pennies, nickels, and quarters. That's all you have. And how many cents did I want for your change? 93 cents. So my question, how many quarters, how many nickels, and how many pennies would you give back? 93 cents. Write it down. Write it down for me. Don't say it. So everybody participates. Write down how many quarters, how many nickels, and how many pennies for 93 cents. Just write down 93 cents for me. And let's see what you get. Okay, Debbie, you want to go back to the document cam? Now remember, nickels, quarters, and pennies. 93 cents. How many quarters would you give me? How many nickels, and how many pennies? And I don't want to carry a lot of change in my pocket. So you're going to give me, so I have the fewest number of coins, and I want 93 cents. Fewest number of coins. And write down your answer in some way so I can make sense of it. Let's see what you get. Fewest number of coins. Okay, let's see what we have. I want 93 cents. 93 cents. Okay, did that change your number at all? No. You're going to stay with there. Okay. 93 cents. Now, some of you, I'm going to tell you, you're shortchanging me. Good. Some of you are shortchanging me. Is that 3?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll buy it. I want my change in quarters, nickels, and pennies, and I want the fewest number of coins. Very good. Good. We're getting there. You're doing exactly what I want to see. Okay, hold it up big enough. There. Jawohl. Yes. And yes. Okay, I'm seeing some really good work. Okay, that's good. Okay, now what I will be doing, Debbie, is using this portion right here, which we haven't used yet. Now here's what I'm seeing. And I didn't get to see everybody. I apologize for that, but I just wanted to see if we were getting there. This is what I saw for most of you. 3 quarters, that's 75 cents, right? 3 nickels, I better put in, that's what most of you did. And what? That was 15 cents. And then you had 3 pennies. And that's the right answer. 75 cents here, 15 cents here, and 3 cents here. That totals 93. Okay. I'm going to write it in a different way for you. Here are your pennies. Here are your nickels. And here are your quarters. And you told me that you had 3 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of these. Agreed? You had 3 of each. Place value? Right? So if I ask you, how would you write this number in groups of 5 instead of groups of 10? Base 5. This would be your answer. So you would say 333 base 5. Not 333, just 333 base 5. This is your base. And I multiplied by the base to get what? The next place value. 5 nickels is 25. Now this is 5 to the first, right? So I could write that as 5 to the first. And this I could write as 5 times 5, which is 5 squared. Okay. And I'm going to try something here. Technically, 1 can be written as 5 to the 0 power. Now that's something out of algebra. But my point is we start 5 to the 0, 5 to the first, 5 to the second. What do you think the next place value would be if I'm multiplying by 5? 5 to the third, correct? Now what is 5 quarters? 125, is it not? So my next place value is just 125. Now I have pennies, nickels, and quarters, and I don't have what? I don't have this. Well, I don't have dimes, but I don't have this coin. Debbie took care of that for me in the last hour. Let's go back to the document, Cam. And I'm going to move these over just a bit. Whoops, this way. And here is a newly minted coin. You know, there's a Susan B. Anthony. This is the Math 10 new coin. I nearly said your name, but I don't want to get you in trouble and have you. This is Debbie's coin. We'll just leave it at that. Newly minted. So we have Susan B. Anthony and we have Debbie. This is our new coin worth 125. So now here is my question for you. We started with 93 cents. I'm going to go to a number in business that you've heard, I hope. If you go ahead and you buy something for a store, you're the buyer, and you order 12 dozen, what do we call it? When you order 12 dozen of something. Does anybody know the name we give to that? I can tell you're not buyers for a store. A gross. So if somebody says, buy a gross of calculators, then you would say that's 12 dozen or 144. So let's start with 144. And this time, tell me how many, and we're going to go back to the document cam, how many of each of those coins you'd have for 144. So we start with 144 pennies, and I'm going to write it now base 5. So how many quarters, how many of this new 125 do you have, how many 25s, how many nickels, and how many pennies? Go for it. We're just going to leave those coins on the document cam. How many of each do we have? How many of each do I have? That's my question. We'll just let you work on it for a moment. I'm using that new coin. What do we want to call that? D for Debbie? DC, Debbie's coin. Okay, so DC, Debbie's coin. So you have pennies, nickels, quarters, so PNQDC. How many of each do you have? And I want to see what you write for me. Let's see what we have. Okay. Looks good. Okay, I like what I see there. Let's see back here. We haven't gotten there yet. We're still, okay, let's see what you've got. Okay. Now what? Okay, I'm having trouble here. Where is the code for me? How many DCs, how many Qs? Oh, okay, okay, no problem. Good. Up here, do we have it? Okay. Ah. Okay, now you've got to give me a space for the Qs, for the quarters, if you're going to do it that way. Okay, I like what you're doing there. Trying to get people over on this side this time. Okay, you're still having fun. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, I like it. Okay, that looks good. Let's see what we've got. Oh, okay. So you put the 0Q at, okay, I would have shifted that in between these two from a more practical point of view. Close, but no cigar. I like it. Okay, still looking. Oh, I like it. You could put 0 there. That's sort of neat. Neat, neat. Okay. Now, are you sure about the 3 Qs? Not really. Okay. Now, you want it reversed because you want your smaller on the right and your bigger on the left, but you're doing the right idea. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, you sure about that? Let me think here. We have 144. Are you sure? Oh, hold on. I see. You have them in different order. Okay, my apologies. Okay, put them in the right order. You're confusing me. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. Let me just do this over here. Sorry, Debbie. I'm trying to create space. So coming across here. So remember, this is our pennies, our nickels, then what? Quarters, and then DC, Debbie's coin. How many years do they give you for coinage? I'm sorry. Okay, most of you told me one of these. Now notice how I put them in order. And then you have what? Remember, that's 125 already. So if you had a quarter, okay, you'd be at a 150, and we only have 144. So 0 of these puppies. Then how many nickels? Okay, I've heard 2 and 3. Which is it? If I had 2 nickels, that would be 10 cents. That put me at 135. So I need what? 3 of these? Now that puts me 125. 15 more is up 140, and then 4 pennies. Now listen to how I read this, because this is critical, very critical. 1, 0, 3, 4. So 1, 0, 3, 4. You don't say 1,034. That's no. You have converted from base 10 to base 5. This DC is 5 to the 4th. Okay? Questions? Are you with me okay? Is everybody with me? No? I have 144 at the beginning. So let's go back to the document camp. What's the largest coin I can use? The 125, correct? So I could sit there and do this, and I need to have you come in tight enough so we can see this. I have my 144, and I've used what? One of those DCs. So what's left? I'm going to subtract this off. So what's left? 19, do you agree? Just subtract and get a 19. Use the Austrian method if you want. And then if I do that, how many nickels could I have for 19? 3 nickels is 15 cents. If you have 4, it's too much. So I take off the 3 nickels. That's 3 of these. And that gives me 4 of these, which is 4 pennies. So I have 1 of these, no quarters, 3 nickels, 4 pennies. Let's slide over just where we are. And that's what this says. 1, 0, 3, 4. And that's the way you read the number. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is, Debbie, I'm going to stay where I am, but eventually I'm going to go to the right side over there. Here's what I want you to do with me, and just keep your focus about where you've got it. I want to try counting in this base. Listen to what I'm going to say. Now, by the way, just a question for you. How do kids learn to count? Help me out here. They use their fingers sometimes, but what do they do when they quit using the fingers and they just start trying to count? What happens? They skip numbers and they jump around. Ask a young child to count for you if they think they know how. And they'll go 1, 3, 7, 2, 6, 9. If you're looking at them, what does your face usually do then? You lose the smile. You get really serious. Now you avoid saying, no. You just have that disappointed look. Now if you're a parent, and the child says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have this smile, and what's the next thing you do? Okay, you clap. What else do you do? If it's your first child, who do you call? Dad. The dad, the grandparents, the uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, everybody you can think of. Because it's such an exciting moment. You learn to count by the smile and just knowing what numbers come after each other, but not too comfortable. And then, of course, what do you try to do eventually as a young child? Count as far as you can. And you'll count to 10, and then you'll count to 100 because you can do it. And at about 100, you give up because 1,000 is so far away. I want you to now listen to me as I count in base 5. Listen carefully, because you're going to have to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 1, 0, 0. Okay, let's start again. Because I had you 1, 2, 3, 4, everybody was with me. What came after 4? 1, 0. Why? Okay, I have 4 pennies, right? 4. And then I did what? I added a penny, and that made a nickel. 1 nickel, no pennies, is 1 0. Not a 10, it's 1 0. Debbie, I want this right here, so just raise it a little bit and over. Okay, this is what I want. 4 plus 1. Now, up it a little bit because I need the base 5. There we go. I'm in base 5. I'm arguing the following. If you are in base 5, 4 plus 1 is 1 nickel, no pennies, which is what you say as 1 0. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's next? 1 0. Let's do it again together. 1. Come on, everybody together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 0 or 1 0. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 0, 1 0. You get it? One more time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1 0.
You got it. Now let's keep going. You have a nickel and no pennies. So your next one is 1 1. 1 2. 1 3. 1 4. Now what is a 1 4? 1 nickel, 4 pennies. I'm going to add another penny. What do you do with the 5 pennies? Trade it in for 2 nickels, no pennies. 2 0. 2 0. Let's do it again. I have 1 nickel, 4 pennies. I add 1 more penny, 5 pennies. But I trade off the 5 pennies for another nickel, 2 0. Okay, let's count together again up to 2 0. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 0 or 1 0. 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 2 0. Listen to me as I keep going now. Should make more sense. 2 1. Okay, hold on. So we say it here. I'm going to count now starting at 2 0. 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, 3 0. Again, I started at 2 0. 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, 3 0, or 3 0. 3 1, 3 2, 3 3, 3 4, 4 0. Be careful, I'm leading you into a trap. Stay with me, you're into a trap. 4 1, 4 2, 4 3, 4 4, the trap. What is the next number after? Write it down, don't say it. 4 4, what's my next number after 4 4? Write something down, that way you commit. After 4 4, what is my next number, base 5? Write it down. It is not 5 0. It is 1 0 0. Okay, back to the board here where I am. I had this, right? Now what would happen if I had a 4 4 and I added 1? So the 1's over here now. I even have an eraser. Let me reach for it. Okay. Now I'm going to add 1. Think of what we do in base 10. 1 and 4 we said is what? 1, 0. Carry the 1. What's 1 and 4? 1, 0. 1, 0, 0. Okay, let's count one more time. Everybody together. We ready? We're going to start at 1 and go to 1, 0, 0. Let's see if we've got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 0, 4, 0. So 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 1, 0, 0. You've got it, I think. Base 5. Debbie, we're going to go over to the grandfather's clock at the left part here, so I'll just walk with you as we come across. Okay. Now, this was an effort in the last hour to try to bring something that's familiar to you. And my suggestion is that the Roman system is just like base 5. Let's see. Now, by the way, this is the early Roman system, not the late Roman system. So when they got to this many, they just used 4 I's. They didn't put an IV. So they just put I. Sounds like a song. I. Sick. Okay, we go with 1. I is 2. I is 3. I is 4. There's your V. That's your nickel. In fact, early on, we had a nickel which had a V on it. It was called, I think, the Victory nickel. And you can still get those from coin collectors. Now, what's 6? It's VI. 7 is VII. 8, V with 3 I's. 9, a V with 4 I's. And then a 10, we look like an X, but it's really what? 2 V's. That's exactly what we just said. Let's look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 V, no I. 1 V, 1 I. 1 V, 2 I. 1 V, 3 I. 1 V, 4 I. 2 V's, no I. So your Roman system is just like base 5. Because 12 o'clock, XII, is really 2 V's and 2 I's. 2, 2. How comfortable are you? I'm trying to read expressions, and so far you're pretty bland. You can play poker pretty well. Last hour I got a lot of drop-dead looks. Okay? Okay, let me ask you this. This word right here. It's appropriate. Because what are we listening to just now?
I'm sorry.
I know, but what are we listening to? A phone that has what on it? Digital music. Your timing was impeccable. Couldn't do it better. I wanted to talk about digital world. There it is, the digital world. Phones. What else? What else do we do digitally?
Oh gosh, the internet, pictures.
Photos. All the photos are digital these days. The clocks are digital. The music is digital. The phone conversation is digital. What do we mean by digital? We have a new base. That's what digital means. It is the base 2, the binary, yes. Now, the fewest number of symbols you could use to represent a number 2, a 0 and a 1. Now, why did they choose zeros and ones? Because they're little switches. Switch on, switch off. There's an electric current or there isn't. So you turn switches on and off. That's what you do in a digital world. That's all a computer is. And so we represent pixels in digital photographs with zeros and ones. We represent tones in music with zeros and ones. When you do a word processor, we represent the letters of the alphabet with zeros and ones. Everything is mapped into some arrangement of 0 and 1s. Base 2. So when I look at this base 2, I only have these 2 digits. So what I want to do is I'm going to scoot over just a little bit more, Debbie, and we're going to go to my place value in base 2. Thank you. And let's bring it a little bit tighter. There we go. 1's my first place value, no matter what the base is. And my next digit is always the base. So remember when we were base 10, we had a 10's place. Base 5, we had the 5's place. Base 2, we had the 2's place. When I was in base 5, I multiplied by what? 5 to get the next place value. So in base 2, I'm going to multiply by what? 2 to get the next place value. So I had 2, then 4, then 8. Okay? So 1's, 2's, 4's, and 8's. We'd have to have new coins. And we, by the way, used to have a 2 cent coin in the United States. It was worth 2 cents. But they never went to a 4-cent piece, just a 1 and a 2. I would need to have Debbie coin new coins for me. A 2 and a 4 and an 8. Okay? Now, what's the key here? Let's slide back. 1 and 1 is what? No longer 2. It's 1-0. Okay, I saw the expressions change. I'm in base 2, correct? So when I get 1 and 1, I get a 2. That's 1, 2, no 1s. 1-0. So 1 plus 1 is 1-0. How would you do 3 cents? 1 group of 2 and 1 penny left over. So 1, 1, base 2 is just a 3. How would I take a dime, just 10 cents? How would I write it in base 2 as a dime? So let's look back at our place value, sliding back again. I want a dime this time. Now remember, this is 1-0, which means 2 cents. I want 10 cents. What am I going to have? Can't have a 3. I can only use zeros and ones.
1, 2, 3.
I can't have a 3. I can't have a 2. I can only have 0 and 1s. Be careful. Read it the way you usually read it. 1. You're telling me 1 what? You're just going to have 1, 1? That's 3 cents. That's 1, 2, and 1. I want 10 cents. 1, 0 is 2 cents. 1, 0, 1 is 5 cents. Look at your place values. If I had 10 cents, could I have a group of 8? If I had 10 cents, could I have a group of 8? One group of 8. No groups of 4. One group of 10, or 2, I'm sorry. And no 1s. 1-0, 1-0. So if you want to write a dime in base 2, it's 1-0, 1-0. When my grandson comes up and says, I'm this old, what is it in base 2? That old in base 2.
It's 0, 1, 0, 1.
Where are you putting the zeros and the ones?
0, 8,
0, 8.
1,
Okay, one group of
4.
and
0, group 2.
0 groups of 2. 101. I'm 101. Base 2. I can't tell if you got it or not.
I just need 2 times 3 is not 6. That's what
2 to the third means 2 times 2 times 2. And that's 8, because 2 times 2 is 4, and then 2 times 4 is 8. You don't multiply the base times the exponent. The exponent tells you what? To take that base and write it that many times, and then multiply. 2 times 2 times 2. Got it? Okay, any other questions before I keep moving here?
I understand how you got the 4 to 1, 1, 0, and then the 1.
One group of 4. This is for this many.
For 5.
For 5. Now I want to know how to write that base 2. So I have one group of this many. That's a group of 4. No 2s. And then one group of 1. So that's 101. Get old fast this way. Okay? By the way, what are my choices for bases? I can use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I do anything? Yes, 10. And by the way, we sometimes do base 16 in a computer. We do base 2 in a computer. That's the digital world. Okay? Now let me ask you this question. What digits did I use in base 4? Let's try this. Base 5. Sorry, base 5. What digits did I use? Tell me the digits in base 5. Now you're telling me place values. Place values in base 5 were 1s, 5s, 25s. But what were the digits I got to use?
5.
Okay, let's slide over again, Debbie. I counted, right? I started with, well, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I went to a 1-0. How many different digits did I need in base 5? 5. What were they? A 1, well, first a 0, then a 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. So base 5, I only need 0, 1 through 4. In base 2, what digits did I use? 2 digits, 0 through 1. That's why it's binary, like bicycle, bi-weekly, biannual.
So base 8 would be just 7 digits.
No, base 8 would be 8 digits, but it would be a 0 through 7. Hear that question. Base 8, 8 digits, I go 0 through 7. If I'm in base 4, how many digits? 0 through 3, but 4 digits. So the base tells you the number of digits. Now base 10, how many digits? 10. Yeah, but 0. 0 through 9. So that's why we call it base 10. And when you reach your base, you always call it what? 1-0,
That's like your whole.
which we argue is a 10 in our usual system. So you have one of the base and nothing left over. That's always the 1-0. How comfortable are we? I'm getting this reaction.
Getting there.
Okay, let me talk about the reaction. Let's just slide back a little bit more, Debbie. So we'll just back up. Remember we talked about digital. We have base 2. We went to base 5. Just keep going and bring it in a little bit tighter now. Okay, a little bit tighter. And now the question. How do you make this something that you leave today and you're comfortable in doing? How do you make it your own? Now, what I'm going to suggest to you has worked very well. And I'll make a comment here. As far as what I want you to do this weekend, and I'm not done yet, but I'm just putting things in perspective. I'm going to ask you to try to start the first unit in the Orange Book. So open your Orange Book and look at the first page. First unit, counting unit, my apologies. What page is it? Page 1. And I show you some blocks, and I talk about counting, what we mean by counting. Okay, turn the page. Page 2. And I show you what we mean by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, the digits we use. Turn the page. And the next page is something that I challenge myself on. You see collections. This is page 4. You see collections, and sometimes without counting, you can just see them. So the bottom left-hand corner, do you see 4 without counting them? You just see it, and you know there's 4? Now, at some point, it gets darn hard to do. So we regroup. We try to put things together in groups of 10. So on page 5, that's what I have you try doing, and I show you at the bottom of the page that you have 3 groups of 10 and 4 left over. Then turn the page. This is where things get a little bit tougher, because now I'm regrouping by groups of what? 8. Not 5, not 2, but groups of 8. Now my guess is that this weekend, when you do what I ask you to do, and all I want you to do is read this unit, you'll get up to page 6 and feel pretty good. Maybe even page 7. Turn to page 8. Now, at the bottom of page 9 is what I just asked you to think about. What digits do we use? Okay, what are the place values? I think that's what I have there. It's writing and numbered. Let's turn to page 10. Yes, at the bottom of page 10 is the same question I just asked you. What digits do you write? Now, my guess is somewhere around problem 5, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And here's the bargain I want to make with you. I want you to read and try doing the problems in this unit until you feel bad. Until you feel confused. Then stop. Only go until you feel like, oh, I'm getting lost. Then stop. And don't wait until Monday night to do this. Because we don't have school tomorrow. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days from now, it's not going to be in your head the way I want it. I'd like you to try to do that in the next 24 hours. See how far you can get. When you get confused, when you get uncomfortable, just stop. Now, as you've listened today, you may have felt at times you had it and then you lost it. It has a way of going that way. You think you've got it and then it disappears. And at the most unexpected times, it may come back in your head and say, I've got it again. So you're maybe driving down College Avenue and you come to a stoplight and you're sort of staring off to space and suddenly you go, I've got it. Or maybe it'll be at dinner tonight and you say, I've got it. And the rest of the family looks at you like you've gone off the deep end. Now, how do you make it yours? I'm going to tell you what I've done and what other students have done, and it's the only thing I know that works. No matter how you feel about this unit, how much struggle you have, and how you learn. This does work. Now, I call it explaining it to the refrigerator door. I went through a whole graduate program explaining things to the refrigerator door because the rest of the family didn't want to listen to me. So late at night, I'd be pacing up and down in the kitchen explaining things to the refrigerator door. Now, if you're fortunate and you have a pet parakeet, just explain it to the parakeet in the quiet of your room. If you've got a dog, dogs will sit there and listen to you as you talk to them and explain counting to them. Put a cat on your lap and it'll make muffins while you explain this unit. It doesn't work very well to explain it to somebody else because they will look at you with the same expression you've given me a few times this morning. And it creates hostility. So don't try to explain it to a brother, a sister, a husband, a wife, a significant other, a sibling. They don't care. The refrigerator door will not talk back. And if you do it late at night, nobody hears you and thinks that you're weird. Okay? And that's the secret to this. Now, there's an example I use, and I've given it at various times. I usually talk about it as we cover this unit. And it has to do with fishing, and fishing for trout. If you fish a long time and you haven't caught anything, when you catch a fish, your worst nightmare is the fish jumps off the line and disappears. I've got a new one on that one, though. This summer, I was fishing up in the Sierra. I have been fishing for hours. Caught a fish, had it in the creel, and the Fish and Game came up and wanted to see my fish. See if I had too many. So I opened the creel, sort of put my hand under the fish to show it. The fish jumped out of the creel and went into the river. I was ready to jump in after him. I couldn't find him. Now before, I've had a fish right up to the edge, ready to go into the net, and falls off and sort of is stunned there for a moment. Doesn't look like it's going to move, and you fish for hours, and it's the only fish you have, and you want to eat dinner, and you were going to fry a fish. So you grab the fish, and you get it in your hands. I don't know if you've ever tried to hold on to a fish in the water. All it needs to do is this little motion, and it's gone. The river wasn't very high that year, and I thought, he's not going very fast. I can catch him. So I splashed down the stream, catching the fish, holding him momentarily, and say, I've got you again. And then he does this, and you just keep running down the stream doing this. Now, I got into some deep water, so I stopped. Felt very foolish. That's the way this unit is. You're going to have it, and it'll disappear on you. And then it'll come back, and it'll disappear on you. The difference is this. I never did get that fish, but you will get the unit. That's been the experience of year after year. I've got to give you the last fish story. This is the one that's classic. I catch a fish. I don't have the creel, and so I make a little rock dam. So there's water in there. The fish can't jump it, and the fish is in there. And I'm fishing. And all of a sudden, I see a snake with my fish in its mouth. It's swallowing my fish. So I figure, snake can't bite me. It's got a fish in its mouth. I'll have fish and snake for dinner. I got news for you. A snake can wiggle just as fast as a fish in the water, and I didn't get the snake or the fish. And there's my fish going down with a tail moving like this. Fishing can be fun, the things you think about. So, you know your homework. You're going to go as far as you can. There is nothing in the white book for the weekend. So, whatever you do, start working on the counting unit tonight. Come back to it tomorrow. Then on Saturday. Then on Sunday. Then on Monday. And when you come back Tuesday, tell me how good you feel about it. Or don't. We'll go back to the white book, but I will answer some questions on Tuesday on counting. We go through this unit, and we do take a test on it. Well, I'm down to my minute and a half or so. And thank you, Debbie, for the coinage and for minting a new coin for us.